Estamos aquí con Tyrell Roberts, jugador del CB Zamora, en una entrevista en exclusiva para el medio Pavel. First of all, Ty, thank you very much for your time and for the interview.
Thanks for having me.
So first question I wanted to ask you is, how did you fall in love with the game of basketball and the meaning that basketball have throughout your personal experience?
Right. I've been playing basketball since I was like 2 or 3 years old. So it's never been something that wasn't a part of my life. And through that, I've developed like my most meaningful relationships and life lessons, through just meeting people from all over, all different walks of life. What the game teaches you about adversity, day in and day out, just working towards something and what that pays off to in the long run. So I'd say it has a huge impact in my life. Some of my best friends I've ever had, I've met through basketball, and we're still friends to this day.
Before arriving here to Zamora, you were playing in the G League. I wanted to ask you about how was that stage of your career?
G League was cool, man. It was a different experience. It was a tough experience because I was coming back from injury. I had some knee issues after my first season in Belgium, so that was my first time playing again. I think it was probably like 8 months since I played last, somewhere around there. But they took care of me in there, so it was good to just get my feet under me again and get in the flow of the game again. It was a dope experience to travel and be with them.
What did you learn playing in such a competitive stage there in the G League?
In the G League,
Yeah.
short-term memory. Short-term memory. With G League games, it's you play one day, you play again 2 days later. You could have like 4 or 5 games a week. So you can't harp on how bad you play, or if you didn't play, you just got to go to the next game ready to go.
And how did the opportunity to come here to Zamora came after that experience?
Just working with my agent, he brought some opportunities in front of me, and this seemed like the best one.
As you said before, isn't your first experience in Europe, as you have played in Belgium, but it is your first experience in Spain. How has been your adaptation here?
Spain has been cool, man. It's the adaptation is a little bit easier because I'm from California and I learned a little bit of Spanish growing up. I forgot it, so don't ask me no questions in Spanish. But I can kind of pick up things here and there, and I can get by a little bit. But the people are really cool. I like the pace of life. It's different from the U.S. It's a lot slower, more intentional, so I can appreciate that. So,
And what are the biggest differences that you have noticed compared to other leagues?
the pace of the actual play, the style of play, super fast. Like the inbounds, they call it saca rápido. Like that's a new thing for me. I haven't done that, and I think like we have the fastest pace in the league. So I'm experiencing that full force with being on this team.
How does it help to you and to your adaptation to share the locker room with another American players like Colby Rogers and Omar Lowe?
I mean, it's nice. You always appreciate when you have someone from your home country who you can relate to out here. Because when you have tough times, like I appreciate all my teammates, but those guys get a little bit more because we're from the same place. So I appreciate them a lot.
How would you describe the chemistry within the team?
It's good. It's very good. We're flowing right now. We're passes, sharing the ball, running. So it's been fun.
You are also having a great season individually. How do you evaluate it so far?
I would say the biggest thing for me this season would be my development as a point guard and reading the game. And I think that was even tougher because of the pace at which we play at. So it's kind of hard to read the game at that pace. But I think I've made a lot of strides in that area, and I'm hoping to improve upon it even more the more I go.
And now, after the win against Fuenlabrada last weekend, the team looks like a serious playoff contender. How do you see your chances?
I mean, that's the goal. Chances are pretty good if we keep locking in every game, being on the scout, focusing. I think we have a pretty solid chance to be able to get that done.
And after the season, do you see yourself continuing here in Zamora or maybe even here in the league?
Just whatever comes across. So, I'll talk to my agent and we'll see what options we have, and if that's the best option, then we'll do it.
In this decision, maybe a huge role is to live far from home. How are you dealing with this?
I'm not gonna lie, that's one of the toughest things about being overseas. You know, a lot of people don't think about that back home. But yeah, it's tough. You're out here alone. Like your family and friends, their life is still going on, and you're just out here doing it by yourself. So it's definitely a hard thing to do. But you know, you find your ways. You schedule times to talk to your family. You do your best to check in. But that's definitely, I would say, that's the toughest thing about being an overseas basketball player.
Talking about home, I wanted to talk about UCSD and a few years ago during the pandemic when you spoke openly about the racial
Mhm.
injustice in the US. How did that period shape you both as a person and as a player?
Yeah, that was a vital time, man. Just at that point, I thought there was way too much going on to be playing basketball, especially in a limited sense because of COVID. So there was COVID, there was the heightened race relations and the protests going on. So I was like, I need to just step away from this, focus on developing, and you know, go forward from there.
Looking back, how important was that decision for your growth?
It was very important, man, because that year, I was kind of just figuring things out, what I need to develop, what I need to do to get better. I was traveling a lot between SoCal and NorCal. I was going down, getting in some pro runs, playing with some pro guys, higher level guys that I haven't played against before. So I think that was huge and critical in my development
And what area of growth do you think do you improve the most
the
during that
most.
time?
I would say just realizing what it takes to be a higher level player, the attention to detail, the reaction time because guys are more athletic, faster, and more precise. So I think that would be the biggest thing.
Now, being from far from home, how are you processing everything that is happening in the US right now?
Oh man, it's crazy. I try not to look most times, but I just take it day by day. Hopefully it's nothing crazy to where it affects even my travel going home because that could be a possibility. But I don't agree with some of the things that our country is doing in terms of like wars and stuff. I think it's embarrassing. But there's nothing I can really do right now. But I'm just hoping take it day by day and it de-escalates. So
Is it something that is taking a huge part of your life right now, and maybe a preoccupation for your family and friends?
I wouldn't say it affects my family directly,
Mhm.
but it can. You never know if all of a sudden we decide to go to war and they call a draft. Some people in my family, including me, maybe may have to go to that. So it's definitely something I think about. Something my family has talked to me about coming home and like be careful. Maybe you should just stay out there. But we don't know, so we're just gonna see what happens.
What are other interests that you have outside of basketball?
Yeah, man, I'm into. I just picked up reading recently more seriously, so I'm trying to build that a little bit more. Reading on my off time. I love anime. I occasionally game here and there, and I'm part of this brand right here, JKG. Just keep going. So I kind of help out with that a little bit here and there with some of my homies back home. So yeah, I'm just working on expanding myself outside of basketball a little bit too, and the off time I have, that's important.
About this brand and this connection with Just Keep Going,
Mm.
I wanted to ask you now, how did that relationship started, and what does it mean to you right now?
Yeah, well, shout out the owner and who started it, Ike Aregbu. You probably know him. He plays in Italy right now. So I've been cool with Ike. We from SAC, so we work out together under our trainer Rashid Khan. So me, him, and then my best friend Maurice Jordan, just kind of talk and develop ideas about the brand. They're really the main two. They
Mhm.
come up with Mo comes up with designs. Ike comes up with some of the designs too. I kind of just offer ideas for planning, marketing, or something like that here and there. But we're all just really close, really cool, and get behind the ethos of the brand. So it's something we can all get behind and develop.
Another thing you mentioned is anime. Anime.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask you how that interest began, and what is your favorite one?
It started when I was a kid, man. Shout out my dad. Saturdays, he used to watch Dragon Ball Z all the time. He was watching Dragon Ball Z, Inuyasha, Trigun, like a bunch of stuff, Cowboy Bebop. So I kind of grew up with it. At a certain point, like I didn't want to admit I liked it because it was embarrassing, but then all of a sudden it became popular. So my favorite all time is it's like cliche, probably Naruto Shippuden, but recently the things I've been watching that I like is Jujutsu Kaisen, Hell's Paradise. What's another one? Uh, Sentenced to Be a Hero. So I kind of watch a bunch of them.
Are these two things, anime and the brand, something that helps you to be outside and see the world outside of the game of basketball and make you disconnect when you are injured, maybe?
Right, for sure, man. That's big time. Like when I was hurt, case in point, and I couldn't play and I wasn't playing, I was helping out with the brand, talking about anime. I also love to go to coffee shops with the homies. That's one of my favorite things to do back in the States. So I was doing that, just a bunch of that, trying to get my mind off things, focus on what I can do, control what I can control. So for sure.
And now to finish the interview, I wanted to ask you some quick and flash question.
Go ahead.
So, what is your favorite food?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Korean barbecue.
And now that you have mentioned it, favorite coffee?
Ooh. Probably just a good old fashioned latte. Nothing crazy.
Are you more into movies or books?
Movies.
And what's your favorite movie?
Spider-Man 2, 2004, Tobey Maguire.
Who is the funniest teammate in the locker room?
Omar Lowe. Omar Lowe.
What's a player that have inspired you and the most, and why?
The most. Ooh, that's a great question. Rashid Khan,
Why?
my trainer. He just the way his mind works with how he develops players, it's amazing. Like I've never seen anything like it. And I've been working with him since I was 12, 13. So I'd say he shaped my whole game. So if you want to talk direct inspiration, for sure, Rashid Khan.
And a coach that you had during your career who impacted you and the way you see the game the most, and why?
These are great questions. Let me see. Let's say Eric Olin at UCSD. He kind of just gave me the freedom to like kill, to just let me be myself and play, and that just opened up so many opportunities for me, and was so important, I think, in the development of my game. That was the most influential coach, and probably the smartest coach I've ever been around. He's a genius.
And if you have to describe yourself as a player in what word would you use?
Killer.
And as a person?
Softy.
And last question, best advice you have ever received?
Save your anger for when you need it.
Thank you, Tyrell, for the interview. Hopefully you have a great time. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you, Daniel.